pater Aeneas sic fatus ab auto. Inde taro. Hello? Hello?
Where is she?
Who?
You know who, your aunt or whatever she calls herself.
Oh, if you mean Miss Marilla Cuthbert, she's not my aunt.
I don't care what she is. Just fetch her, that's all.
I'm afraid I can't.
Now, you listen to me. I ain't taking no cheek from any of you red-headed snippet of a girl, so you can put down your yellow-covered novel and go and do what I tell you. Because I am not budging from here.
Miss Cuthbert is not here.
What do you mean she's not here?
She's gone to East Grafton. And this isn't a novel, it's Virgil's Aeneid, if you want to know. And I'd rather have red hair than none at all, except a little fringe around my ears.
Just who do you think you're talking to?
Well, I don't know who I'm talking to. You come here banging gates and shouting. I've never seen you before in my life.
Her name is Harrison, Miss J.A. Harris.
Oh.
You may well say, oh.
You bought Mr. Bell's farm while I was away at Queen's.
Mm.
Well, I couldn't have known that by sheer clairvoyance, could I? However, if you'd care to explain what the trouble is...
It's that Jersey cow of your aunt's. You've been in my hayfield again. Now, I warned your aunt about her on Tuesday, and it happened again today.
If it's a Jersey, then it's Dolly, and she's my cow. Matthew gave her to me when she was born. I'm very sorry, Mr. Harris.
Oh, sorry ain't gonna help matters any. You can look at the havoc that animal caused in my hayfield. She's trampled it from center to circumference, miss.
I am sorry, Mr.
Never mind
Harris.
about being sorry. What you gonna do?
I promise to keep an eye on her in future. And meanwhile, I suggest that you strengthen your fence between your pasture and our hayfield.
What?
Well, I noticed last week that it wasn't in very good condition.
Nothing wrong with my fence. There's that demon cow. Take a brick wall to keep her out. Now, I'm not standing for it, and that's flat.
I know, and I have said I'm sorry. And it won't happen again. You have my word of honor. So I don't see you've got anything to gain by shouting anymore. Do you? Well, I'm sorry, Dolly, but it can't be helped. And there was J.A. Harrison, all red in the face. Mrs. Lynde says he's a crank. Well, for once in her life, she's only got half the information.
For pity's sake, Anne, give me a chance to get my cloak off.
Oh.
Oh.
You do look worn out. Sit down. The kettle's boiling.
Terrible roads they got over in Grafton. Shakes you to pieces driving over them.
What did the eye specialist say, Marilla?
No change at all since last time. He was real pleased, Anne.
Oh, that's wonderful.
He reckons chances are my eyes won't get any worse than they are right now. And if they don't, I was figuring I can shift well enough for myself. You don't need to be tied here after all, just because of me.
Fiddlesticks. Where else would I want to go?
You'll be starting teaching in a few weeks. And if you save what you earn, and I put some by to go with it, you just might get to college in a year or two.
Oh, Marilla.
But don't count on it. And don't tell anybody about it, in case it doesn't work out. But I was figuring that the way...
Oh, no. There he is again. He must have seen you come back. Well, I'm ready for him this time.
Now, Anne.
Now, out!
Anne Shirley, whatever do you mean pouncing out in the body like that? Saints alive, you startled all the breath out of me. See you got back all right, Marilla.
I'm here, Rachel.
I'm very sorry, Mrs. Lynde.
I've got news for you, Anne.
Oh.
Anthony Pye's back.
Who's Anthony Pye?
You wouldn't remember him, Anne. He was born about 2 years after Gertie.
18 months to be exact, Marilla. His poor mother was so worn out, she swore she couldn't cope with raising another, so a sister came over from Nova Scotia and took him.
Why is he coming back?
He's got completely out of hand, that's why. Thank you. He'll be in your class, Anne. You'll have the job of trying to teach him.
Too old for school now, surely.
His birthday fell off when he's got to stay on another term. I wouldn't like to be in Anne's shoes, that's a fact. If his Uncle Seth couldn't put the fear of God into him, how's Anne going to do it?
I'm not planning to put fear into my pupils, Mrs. Lynde. Only knowledge.
You've got to make them sit still long enough to put it into them, haven't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't take that off if I were you, Rachel. We'll be moving out to the veranda soon.
Whatever for?
The young folks are having a meeting in the house in half an hour, and they won't want you and me gawking at them.
Oh, yes, still at it, are they? Setting the world to rights.
Don't you approve of the Village Improvement Society, Mrs. Lind?
Depends what you're setting and proving. If it's the people, I reckon you're gonna have your job cut out.
I dare say we will. But who was it who said it's better to light even a little candle than sit alone and curse the darkness?
Village Improvement. Folks are just laughing at them. Lawrence McPherson says, are they expecting him to hang lace curtains in the windows of his cowshed? Suppose Gilbert Blythe's in this so-called society.
Gilbert's chairman and secretary.
Ah, thought as much.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, Anne's setting a cap at Gilbert, isn't she?
Whatever gave you that idea?
Why, it's common knowledge, Marilla. And I'm not surprised you encourage him here. You used to have a soft spot for his father, didn't you?
The first bit of improvement needed in this village is for folks to start minding their own business.
There's no call to fly off the handle, Marilla. Anne could do a lot worse than Gilbert Blythe. You've only got to see the spoony way she looks at him to see what's up.
Spoony, indeed. Good heavens above, I've seen her look like that at a bunch of violets. You don't understand that girl, Rachel, and you never will.
I won't argue, Marilla. But there's other sweet on Gilbert besides Anne. Ruby Gillis, for one.
Ruby Gillis.
Well, she doesn't have to be told the difference between a young man and a bunch of violets.
Shh.
Spoony.
It'd be easier for me, really, if they held it on Thursdays.
But we tried that, didn't we? And then Diana couldn't come.
Perhaps I could drop by on Sunday after church and have a look at it.
Oh, I wish you would, Fred. She'd be ever so pleased.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, hi.
Evening, Anne.
Hello, Ruby.
Oh, I've been in such a rush. I felt sure I was going to be late. And then just when I got to the crossroads, I happened to meet Gilbert.
Oh, yes? Shall I take that?
Oh, thanks. So then, of course, I knew it was all right. Well, I said to him, didn't I, Gilbert? I said, well, anyway, they can't start without you.
That's true.
Hi.
Hello.
Anything wrong?
No, of course not. What should be wrong?
I saw J.A. Harrison chasing your jersey out of his hayfield this afternoon.
Not much you miss, is there, Rachel?
Did he make much of a rumpus?
We gave Anne a piece of his mind.
What can you expect? He comes from New Brunswick. Remember Timothy Cotton? He was a New Brunswick man.
He had consumption.
When he wasn't stealing. His wife was so lazy, she used to wash her dishes sitting down. Talking of Harrison, has anybody had a look inside that house yet?
Not that I know of.
It's very peculiar. They say he won't let a woman near the place. What's he hiding, Marilla? He could be burying dead bodies under the flagstones for all we know.
Not unless he brought them with him. Nobody round here's been missed.
I still think somebody should have a look inside there. I've a good mind to do it myself.
How are you going to do that if he won't let anyone in?
There are ways, Marilla. There are ways.
Well, I think we should make a real effort to get it done before the winter.
But where's the money coming from?
Well, we'll have to collect it.
Wouldn't it be better to start with something we can do ourselves? Well, I mean, if the first thing we do is go around begging.
Oh, but it isn't begging. Well, it'll be a symbol. How can a village take a pride in itself when its village hall is so shabby and run down?
Oh, it's not that
Think of the
terrible.
effect it'll have on people to see it rising up like a phoenix with new shingles and lovely gleaming paint all over it.
She's off again.
People would look at it then and say, that's ours. That stands for Avonlea. Well, it would inspire a new community spirit.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know that I pictured quite that high. Still, if something isn't done soon to keep the damp out, it's going to deteriorate pretty fast. It's in their own interest. The longer the taxpayers put it off, the more it'll cost them.
Put it that way, yes, we might convince them. All right, then, I propose we go ahead.
Seconder?
All right.
All in favor?
As far as collecting the money, I suggest we hunt in pairs.
Oh, Anne and I can do Newbridge.
Oh, good, I'll do White Sands with Fred.
Oh, no, I'll do that with you, Gilbert. Well, my aunt lives in White Sands.